Russos talked about Tony Stark and Doctor Doom, and I think they're just trolling the fandom at this point, just giving us like just stuff to hang on. So the Russos confirmed that Tony Stark's death in Avengers Endgame is part of Doctor Doom's story in Avengers Doomsday. It's what they said. We can't explain that as it's part of the story, but there's nobody else in the world who could play this character the way he is about to. So, what is your reaction to that? And obviously, look, we mentioned Josh a lot because he is one of our favorite content guys that we watch.
Yeah, we have to watch him.
Yeah, so please, I really want you to talk about his theory as well when you talk about this, because I know you had a point about that.
So I just think it's crazy because I think that Doctor Doom is going to be Doctor Doom. I think Victor Von Doom is going to play Doctor Doom. I think Marvel is using literally their biggest villain in the entire Marvel universe. I don't see them giving us a alternate version of him, especially one that didn't already exist in the comics. And Josh's theory is that, and he's had this theory for a while, is that Tony Stark is going to become Victor Von Doom. Tony Stark is going to become Doctor Doom in another universe, if I have it right. It's something along the lines of, or in our universe,
I'll break it down if you want me to.
Yeah, break down the theory, and then I'll give my thoughts on it.
Of course. So basically, Josh's theory is that, which goes against the MCU rules in general, which I think is insane, is that the Tony Stark that we saw in the MCU, he was never Tony Stark. He was actually a Victor Von Doom variant, but the Starks adopted him and raised him as Tony Stark, and that he was never born from the womb of his mom. So when we saw him become Iron Man and die, that was just because he was raised by the Starks, and basically he's saying that is going to push the point that everybody that looks like RDJ on every other Earth is a Doctor Doom is a Doctor Doom variant, and trying to point. And he said that it's going to be this greater deal of nature versus evil, saying like it doesn't matter about who you are, but what family you come up through and all that stuff.
It goes against everything, I believe. Yeah, it does. The other thing, I guess where I'll start, is Books of Doom by Ed Brubaker. It is the ultimate Doctor Doom comic. It's 6 issues. If you haven't read it, I think I recommended it last week too. It's amazing. You can download Marvel Unlimited tonight and read it on your iPhone or tablet or whatever. But the thing is that Victor Von Doom's father, his mother was a witch. His father was treated poorly in, I don't know if it was Latveria or where he originally grew up, but it was a big part of Doctor Doom becoming who he became to be. And first of all, I don't like the idea of them altering Doom's origin so significantly, because I think that played a big part in Doctor Doom becoming Doctor Doom. And I also think that this would kind of ruin everything that came before Endgame. This would just make Iron Man so different. I think it would change everything. And, I just don't see them giving this weird alternate version to be oh, well, that's how they look the same, because Tony Stark is Victor Von Doom. And the adoption theory, that to me is crazy. And this is why I said, when I originally said this announcement broke people's brains. I don't think people were able to wrap their heads around that Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom are going to look exactly the same. Not exactly, because Doom's going to be, have his face scarred up behind the mask. I do see how Josh went down this path, especially with the article from today. I think I saved it. Hold on. It was trying to look
with Times, right? It was with Times.
Yeah, exactly. Where they said, they specifically stated It was that was from something else. But let me see. I'm trying to see what I said to you because I want to read what I said. But yeah, anyway, I just like I could see. I know that they're now saying he could play Doctor Doom in a way that nobody else can, and it's part of the story. I don't think like I could see Josh seeing that and then being like, "Oh, this further confirms my theory," but I still disagree. I still think that that could mean a whole like there's so much more possibility of what that
Oh
could
yeah.
mean, and it doesn't necessarily mean your very specific theory. Because like I just don't see Marvel changing Doctor Doom because RDJ played Tony Stark. Like that just sounds so silly to me. And I don't think they're gonna do it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm about to cook because I have studied the multiverse, and you know this, like the MCU multiverse, I love, and I've studied it in and out. And we have to talk about the multiversal rules of the MCU. Okay.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine has showed us this. We have seen this in the Loki show as well. So let's start there. Just because a character might look the same doesn't mean they are the same character. When we go into the Loki show, right? We see Loki and Sylvie, right? He's a guy, she's a girl, but they're the same character. And we even go even in Loki season 1 when Loki is in the void. We see a old version of him that doesn't look like him at all. We see a kid version of him as well. You know, when we go to Deadpool and Wolverine, we see Chris Evans pop up where Deadpool thinks that is Captain America, but it's not him. He's the Human Torch. This is not hard, you know. And that's the point of the multiverse is that it is multiple characters that it is the same actor. Obviously, we know that, but they play different characters. And also, the one thing that Josh hasn't thought about, which I think is the most obvious thing, what makes you guys think that we aren't going to get Tony Stark as well in this movie? You know what I mean? And they paid this man 100. If you think that they paid this man $100 million to just play Victor Von Doom, you might be crazy. And I think that we have more of a chance to see Tony Stark be in this. And also, we got to talk about this fact: the fact that the Avengers roster is weak, the fact that the Avengers roster isn't doing the best that it can. So don't be shocked if a Tony Stark from another Earth does end up being on this team. So,
you know. Also, there were a lot of infamous Iron Man theories. There's someone else that I've beefed with online that was like, "Oh, Tony Stark is going to be infamous Iron Man," and it's like, bro, Tony Stark isn't infamous Iron Man. Just say you don't read comics. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, you know, infamous Iron Man is a really cool comic. I wouldn't recommend reading it unless you've already read Books of Doom or are like really familiar with Doctor Doom. But if you read Books of Doom, like go for Infamous Iron Man after, if you don't want to read all the other Doom stuff. But Infamous Iron Man is really cool because what happens is Tony Stark dies in Civil War II, and Victor wants to be a hero and takes up the Iron Man suit and like redoes it to his look. And he is like, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to take up Iron Man as a mantle. And what happens is the other characters don't believe him. Like, I remember there was a scene where the Thing was like, you know, I forget exactly what he said, but it's something like, "You're crazy," you know, in his voice. You could just imagine it. The Thing's, I love the Thing. Anyway, you know, yeah, it was really cool. But I also always toyed with the idea of what if Victor Von Doom was infamous Iron Man post Secret Wars and joined the Avengers? Like that would be crazy. I would love to see that. But the reason I say it in that specific order is Doctor Doom can't have his redemption arc without being the villain to be having the from. So that is a key component here that I think that everyone forgets. But I don't think, like, the more I think about it, I'm starting to come around on the idea of them like nodding to, okay, we understand it's RDJ and he looks the same, similar. I didn't realize that there was a big theory when Endgame was coming out about them going back in time and killing Thanos as a baby. And Stevie told me today that that was why that was in the movie, when Rhodey was like, we should just go kill him as a baby. And they were like, nah. And Rhodey was like, it's Thanos. That was because they were nodding to that rumor. So now I think it is possible that they're going to nod to the fact that they understand in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom look alike. I do not think we are going to get a Doctor Doom that isn't Victor Von Doom and the classic version of Victor Von Doom. I think anything else than that would be crazy. And Marvel is not going. Marvel knows their longtime fans are integral to the success of the MCU because they need us to be happy. And by us being happy, we rave about things online, we create hype, and that's how the masses move. How else would they know to be hyped for a character like Doctor Doom, who's never really had a major presence in cinema? Or how would they know to be hyped for characters like Kang the Conqueror or other? It's because the comic heads like us hype it up online, and the MCU fans who are like big on Marvel but don't read comics see it, and then it trickle down economics. Okay.
Yep.
So I do think it's very important for them to do it. And I think Marvel understands it's very important for them to do it right, to do Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom, and not some weird alternate variant where they're blending what Tony Stark was with what Victor Von Doom is.
Yeah, and it's like, why destroy Tony Stark's past? You could have them both in the same movie.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Imagine Reed and Tony Stark in a lab together cooking up.
Yeah,
that's the real science bros. You know what I mean? And if you bring in T'Challa, come on, T'Challa, Stark, and Reed, like
Illuminati, bro.
I know. And we already have Beast. We already have a Beast already.
Yep.
You know,
and we got Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and we have a Captain America.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I just keep saying, like, if they're paying this man 100 mil, he's not just playing Doom, bro. It's not just Doom. That's kind of just what I think. Like, they will be dumb to not bring back Stark in the multiverse. Because I mean, bro, if you show Tony Stark in a trailer facing against looking at Doctor Doom or him and Reed, bro, are you kidding me?
No.
Are you serious, bro?
Game over. You want to talk about results?
Automatic billion
on Twitter for like 36 hours.
You said, well, yeah, bro, automatic $1 billion, automatic. There's no way out of that. And if you talk about bringing Hugh Jackman into the mix and all these other people, bro, come on. And that's Hugh Jackman's dream. By the way, he said that his dream is to be on stage or be on screen with all the Avengers. It's so sad that he never got his chance to be an Avenger. Imagine if Wolverine was on that Avengers team. That would have been nuts. My God.
Sick.
We got robbed. All right.